It's moments like this that I wish Gotts was here so that he could do all of the commentary for this week's chapter, which was pretty freaking awesome, and it also featured Sabo versus Jesus Burgess! This week's chapter of One Piece was chaos. Pure, unmitigated, manga badassery chaos. Sabo versus Jesus Burgess. Bartolomeo and the warriors of Kurita Coliseum finally getting ready to battle again. The birdcage getting ready to swallow up all of freaking Dressrosa Kingdom, all in the same time that Luffy is trying to regenerate his haki. Zoro trying to stop the birdcage, Frankie and the Tontada tribe trying to stop it. This was a crazy chapter of the series, which was a lot of fun. I think one of the biggest surprises about this week's chapter, of course, is the rematch between Sabo and Jesus Burgess. And spoiler alert, and not exactly a big shock, Sabo just completely destroys Jesus Burgess in this chapter. And I didn't want that to be the case. I wanted Jesus Burgess to maybe show off some brand new techniques that we haven't seen before. But against Sabo and the frickin' Marimara no Mi, he's just destroying everything in his wake. That one big Flame King Dragon Punch move that he does to Jesus Burgess at the beginning of the chapter was really intense, especially when he's declaring his brotherhood for Luffy. That was pretty awesome. The other important parts about this week's chapter is just how things are really starting to ramp up in terms of Dressrosa Kingdom getting destroyed, because it's only a matter of time before the birdcage just completely destroys and cuts everything. And there's a scene where Zoro is using like his Haki-infused arms and swords to try to like push this thing away and to cut it, and it's just not working whatsoever. This is an opportunity for Zoro to try and use like a big technique, and he should be doing that right now. Maybe he's low on energy, maybe he's just panicking, maybe he simply has no direction in what he's doing. We know that Zoro is not exactly the best in directions. Then that brings us to Frankie and the Tontada tribe in that big giant sea prism castle. I really think that a lot of the citizens and the warriors and everybody else who's in Dressrosa are probably going to end up pouring into there as this big birdcage is just slicing everything around them. I really think that's how they're going to end up being saved. And there's also a few other interesting bits about this week's chapter as they're going around showing us all the different fights and destruction that's going on. There's the scene where Fujitora is looking up into the air, and he could be doing a technique where he's summoning some more meteorites, maybe trying to destroy the birdcage. I'm not really sure, but they look like these big flashing lights, and he looks really shocked to see those, so I really can't wait to see what that's going to be. Of course, we're going to have to wait, but the biggest shock of this week's chapter, aside from the fact that we have Sabo fighting against Jesus Burgess, is there's that final part of the chapter where they say that the birdcage is going to completely destroy everything in Dressrosa over the course of the next 3 minutes. And Luffy still needs another 4 minutes to regenerate his haki. That's not enough time! Call in Jack Bauer! No, seriously, what is Luffy going to do in this time? They are either going to have to completely stop the birdcage, or Dressrosa is just going to be completely destroyed. Although this is One Piece, I don't see it going into a big bloody massacre, but I can't wait to see what's going to happen. I think something is going to have to revitalize Luffy in some form or fashion for him to have to fight against Doflamingo, which Doflamingo is creepy this week, especially the scene where he's just slowly walking down the streets of Dressrosa with his awakened devil fruit powers, which are just skewering and frickin' shish kebabbing everyone. That's a really disturbing scene with all of the different warriors from Kurita Coliseum who are just knocked out all over the place, and then you can just like see people who are impaled on his massive giant strings. It's really disturbing, and basically he's just calling out for Luffy, getting ready to battle against him. The other thing that I really loved about this chapter was just getting to see the return of all the warriors from Kurita Coliseum. You just get these guys standing together and posing. They're freaking awesome. They're basically the next generation Ginyu Force, and I love all of them, especially Bartolomeo, who's right up front doing his barrier abilities. I really want Bartolomeo to be one of the next members of the Straw Hat Pirates. I think he's a really funny, awesome, and incredibly useful character, and I can't wait to see more of him in action. I'm sure his barrier abilities are going to come in very handy when it comes to saving a lot of these citizens and warriors of Dressrosa as this massive cage is about to fillet all of them. So what's the rundown on this week's chapter of One Piece? Sabo versus Jesus Burgess! That's one of the big reasons to check out this week's chapter, and it was pretty damned awesome. I mean, Sabo pretty much just took control of the entire battle, but just seeing him in action is just a lot of fun. Just knocking the crap out of Jesus Burgess. And even after that big first attack, throughout the pages of the chapter, especially in the big final one, where you get to see all of the crazy events which are going down at Dressrosa at the last couple of minutes, you can even see that Jesus Burgess is still fighting back against Sabo, despite the fact that he's constantly getting burned alive. I think that's pretty freaking intense. That final page just really demonstrates how chaotic this entire arc is and how many different characters are involved in this big, massive event, which who knows how it's going to go down. There could be another twist around this whole birdcage. I still don't know if they're actually going to be able to dispel it before Doflamingo is defeated, or maybe they're like just going to completely destroy it. I really don't know how incredibly indestructible this thing is, but I really can't wait to see how they're going to stop this damn thing. I'm really, really interested in that, and I really hope that when they finally do get back to the big final battle between Luffy and Doflamingo, that it really pays off, because despite the fact that we've already seen Gear 4th in action and we've seen a lot of crazy abilities from Doflamingo, I still want to hope to believe that their battle still hasn't even really started yet, and really, we're just waiting for it. This has all just been like an appetizer before their big final confrontation when they collide with one another, and I just can't wait to see that. It's going to be awesome! On the technical side of things, this week's chapter looked very nice, very good character design as always, lots of crazy action. That scene where Sabo was attacking looked great. All of his facial expressions were incredible. That first page where he's got Jesus Burgess on the ground looked really awesome, and of course that final page just getting to see all of the crazy things going down. As far as predictions go, I still believe that Luffy is probably going to be able to revitalize himself just in time to attack Doflamingo, maybe with just enough power to get rid of the birdcage, but still, that's just completely up in the air. We're just going to have to keep reading to figure out what's going to happen. All I will say is that this week's chapter was exciting. It was really freaking exciting, so you should definitely check it out if you're a One Piece fan. Whether you read the manga or watch the anime version, check this one out. You're definitely going to see something you like. So I'm going to give this week's chapter a 4 out of 5. I thought it was pretty freaking awesome. Check it out, One Piece fans. It kicked ass. So I like this chapter a lot. I love the battle between Sabo and Jesus Burgess and just the pure chaotic nature of the Dressrosa arc. But what about you guys? Did you like this week's chapter? Did you have a favorite scene, a favorite battle scene? What do you think is going to happen in this final battle of Dressrosa? Are they going to find a way to destroy the birdcage? Do you think Fujitora has a weird plan up his sleeve where he's looking up into the sky? Who's going to win in the battle between Luffy and Doflamingo? And what are going to be the repercussions of that battle? Please tell me in the comment section below. Thank you guys for watching my review. Before you guys leave, make sure to like it, thumbs up the video, and share it with all of your friends. Make sure to subscribe to the channel and follow us on social media. Thank you guys again for watching, and as always, stay dandy, baby.